Recall practice the 3 quotations from the poem Mamet's Wood. Can you remember the full quotation? Wasted, surface, mosaic. Check your work. It is important to keep all these quotations fresh in your mind. Test yourself regularly on these quotations. The Prelude by William Wordsworth explores the loss of childhood innocence as he recalls the beauty of the natural world and the excitement of ice skating as a child in winter. The poet marvels at the joy the memory brings him, while hinting at the passage of time and how time changes him. Examine the image. What have you found out about the poem already? What does it mean, shod with steel? What sounds can you already identify from the picture and the labels? Research William Wordsworth to find out more about his love of nature. Click on the link to hear the poem read to you. The frosty season shows that it is winter. Through the cottage windows, the light from the fire summons him home, but he does not want to go. He's having too much fun. The fun is reflected by the word rapture. The clock says it's 6 o'clock. It's evening in winter. The poet uses zoomorphism. This is when he compares himself and the other children to animals. It is not a negative comparison, it is positive. He suggests that they are free, like an untamed horse, proud. He also compares them chasing each other to horses and hounds. The loudness of them is reflected in the din. The tone changes slightly at the end of the poem. Although the children are still loud, the echoing from the nearby hills and mountains makes the sound seem alien, unusual. There is a melancholy or sadness coming as they realise that the sun is indeed going down and they will have to go in. You are going to write your opening paragraph. Your opening paragraph should answer the following key questions. Who, what, where, when. You are now going to write your introduction paragraph, which answers the questions who, what, where, when. You can use the writing frame provided. Time yourself. Give yourself 10 minutes to write 4 or 5 sentences about the poem's story. Don't worry if you get stuck. There are some hints on the next slide. Now, check your introduction against this slide. Did you include all the important information? If you need to, add another sentence. Think about the story of the poem. Which quotations would help you tell that story? Rapture. It was a time of rapture, clear and loud. Pack. The pack loud bellowing and the hunted hare. Orange. The orange sky of evening died away. These are our suggested 3 quotations that you will need to learn. You will be tested on the recall of these quotations. You need to revisit these quotations on a regular basis to make sure that they become part of your working memory. Read the following information about the 3 key quotations. You have already written up your introduction. You are now ready to begin writing about the beginning of the poem. You will look at the first key quotation to help you tell the story. Then you will develop your paragraph using the writing frame in front of you. Don't worry if you get stuck. The next slide has some suggested ideas. You have 10 minutes to write about this paragraph. Well, how did you do? Here is an example of how you could have written up your paragraph. This is just a guide if you get stuck. You are now going to write about the middle of the poem. Look at the writing frame and the key quotation. You have 10 minutes to write up a paragraph about the middle of the poem. Don't worry if you get stuck. There are some ideas on the next slide. Well, how did you do? Look at the example. See if you can improve yours. You are now going to write the last paragraph about the end of the poem. This time, you need to try it all by yourself. Your conclusion paragraph should be the why of the poem. Why did the writer create this poem? What influenced them? Your conclusion does not have to be long, but it should be the cleverest thing you can say about this poem. 5 minutes should be enough time for you to write your conclusion. Don't worry if you get stuck. Some ideas are on the next slide. Well, how did you do? Look at the example conclusion on this slide. Can you steal any ideas to improve your own conclusion? You need to work on learning your key quotations off by heart. Rapture, pack, orange. You should have written up about a page and a half about this poem. Keep it safe. You will need it to revise for next year for your GCSEs. Make sure you go on GCSE Pod or YouTube links and the website above to look at all of the revision material on this poem.